Hello and good evening from Rwanda's capital here in Kigali, and many thanks for joining us on this Wednesday edition on RwandaTV. These are the top stories for our viewers in Rwanda and those from across the world. Rwanda and Qatar on Wednesday signed an agreement on military and security cooperation. The residents of Rwanda sector in Rwamagana district are worried that the lake might get more destroyed with agricultural activities which have encroached on the lake shores. Also tonight, the visiting Germany's Federal Minister for Economic Cooperation and Development, Venja Charles, has commended Rwanda's environmental protection efforts in northern province, where Germany is supporting afforestation projects. On the international scene, President Biden used his State of the Nation address to say that Russian President Vladimir Putin must pay a price for his country's invasion of Ukraine. Thanks indeed for joining us for tonight's broadcast. I'm Ethan Teshobia. You're watching RwandaTV News live from Kigali. Now, on Wednesday afternoon, President Paul Kagame received Lieutenant General Salim bin Mohammed bin Al-Khal Al-Nabit, the Chief of Staff of the Qatar Armed Forces, who is in Rwanda for a visit to strengthen bilateral ties. General Al-Nabit began on visit began on Tuesday evening when he arrived in Kigali. Still on the same subject, Rwanda and Qatar on Wednesday signed an agreement on military and security cooperation. The signing of the agreement was one of the highlights of the visit of Qatari Chief of Staff, Lieutenant General Salim bin Ahmed Al-Khal Al-Nabit in Rwanda. We have this report. On the second day of his three-day visit to Rwanda, Qatari Chief of Defense Staff, Lieutenant General Salim bin Ahmed Al-Khal Al-Nabit, visited the Kigali Genocide Memorial and paid homage to the victims of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi and laid a wreath at the mass grave where the victims are buried. After visiting the Kigali Genocide Memorial, Lieutenant General Al-Nabit visited the Campaign Against Genocide Museum located at the Parliamentary Building in Kimihurura. Later on Wednesday, Qatar's Chief of Defense Staff, Lieutenant General Al-Nabit, held talks with his Rwandan counterpart, General Jean Bosco Kazura, at the RDF headquarters. Both parties signed the cooperation agreement on defense and security, according to the spokesperson of the Rwanda Defense Force, Colonel Ronald Rwivanga.
The Chief of Staff of the Qatar Armed Forces, Lieutenant General Salim bin Ahmed Nabit, is on a three-day working visit. During his visit this morning, the Chief of Staff of the Qatar Armed Forces held a meeting with the Rwanda Defense Force Chief of Defense Staff, General Jean Bosco Kazura, at his office here in Kimihurura. The meeting focused mainly on military cooperation between Qatar Armed Forces and Rwanda Defense Force. The cooperation will mainly focus on military training and other defense and security related matters. So also today both chiefs signed a memorandum of understanding between the Qatar Armed Forces and Rwanda Defense Force to expand the spheres of cooperation.
Qatar Chief of Staff, Lieutenant General Al-Nabit, comes after another trip to Kigali by his predecessor, Lieutenant General Ghanim bin Shahim Al-Ghanim, in January 2020. In January 2022, Rwanda's Minister of Defense, Major General Albert Murasira, also visited Qatar. During the visit, Minister Murasira was received by Prime Minister of Qatar, who is also the Minister of Security, and later attended the closing ceremony of the military training course at the Qatar Air Force School, which included 2 Rwandans who graduated from this military school. Still on matters cooperation, the visiting Germany's Federal Minister for Economic Cooperation and Development, Venja Charles, says that Rwanda is at the forefront of environmental protection, and that's why Germany granted Rwanda 32 billion Rwandan francs in a project called Gicumbi Green. This was said when she visited different activities that Germany finances in Rwanda. Betty Mutoni was there and she filed this report.
In his of Gicumbi district, where all the artificial forests are being cleared for the new season of reforestation, a project called Green Gicumbi, which is being funded by the federal government of Germany at the tune of over 32 billion, has provided job opportunities to 21,000 people.
Twari dufite ibishitsi ibiti mu byukuri byari byarashibutse.
I got a job and I worked, which helped me to improve my standards of living. The money I got, I was able to buy livestock, books for my children, and paying school fees. This project helped us a lot.
Bigiye gukura neza. Nimara gukura neza tuzabona umusaruro.
Turi kubona igikorwa kiri kurushaho kuba cyiza.
We had trees that were old and they really needed to be cleared. Therefore, it's good for Green Gicumbi, which helped us and cleared them. And I'm sure that the ones we planted will grow well.
Shuri rwose umushinga watugiriye umumaro cyane.
Since this project was launched, 600 hectares of terraces have been cleared and other 6 hectares are being built. The project team leader, Kajenza Jean-Marie, noted that this project will play a role in preventing soil erosion and environment degradation in northern part of Rwanda.
First of all, we are promoting capacitation in terms of climate resilience. We are adopting the innovation in adaptation and mitigation. So capacitation is a key, behavior change is a key. How we are promoting good climate resilience practices. We are building, of course, existing practices, and also we are including the innovation technology and approach.
The Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Environment, Karera Patrick, says that this project will also benefit the citizens.
Also touching on the livelihood component to make sure that we provide with them shelters into a green settlement. We will also provide improved seeds to make sure that we improve the productivity while also touching to the household income. So this is one of the projects that is funded by the Green Climate Fund. So the development minister from Germany is one of the contributors of the GCF.
The German Minister of Economic Cooperation and Development, with accompanying delegation, visited the Green Gicumbi project, which has been operating for 2 years in clearing forests, and explained why Germany funded this project.
It is very interesting what is going on here, and I think it is a very successful project what the Green Fund is doing here. It is important for the people here who are living here because they get new work, and it is social sustainability, and it's also ecological sustainability because planting trees is always good for the climate protection. And Rwanda is the pioneer in climate adaptation, and supporting the pioneer is always good.
Minister Venja also visited the Rutongo mining site and the mining school located in Rulindo district. School administration said that getting experts in mining from Germany helps in training students and teachers on modern methods of mining.
Through the cooperation that we are having, they will also be able to give us what maybe to partner to see in terms of the capacity building, in terms of making this sector being done in a professional way. And by doing this one, definitely we need some of the facilities, and the government has contributed the road together with the partner, including the German government.
Rutongo Mining School started in 2013 and has graduated 250 students, and these students play a big role in Rwanda's mining sector. Betty Mutoni, RwandaTV News.
Thank you, Betty, for that report. Now, residents of Rubona sector in Rwamagana district and others who have farms on the shores of the Mugesera are worried that the lake might get more destroyed because there is an investor who carries out agricultural activities on the lake shores, and sand goes and extends into the lake. They say they have been doing this, which actually contradicts with the law that have been put there, that puts a 50-meter distance between the lake, the water bodies, and the cultivatable areas to avoid soil erosion and other related problems. Sam Kadisa has this report.
Agricultural activities in Rwanda sector are common near the shores of Lake Mugesera. Farmers in the area have been asked to leave a 50-meter distance between their gardens and the lake, as it has been set by the Rwanda Environmental Management Authority. Residents in the area claim that currently the resident has been violated since agricultural activities are being carried out in this designated land area. We stopped cultivating in this area, but afterwards there came another investor who started planting tomatoes, green pepper, beans and tobacco in the area. We are requesting that the regulation to protect Lake Mugesera be followed, or else they return the land area to residents. The Rwanda Environmental Management Authority REMA inspected the area and found that Niwemuhutu Alphonse, an agricultural investor, violated the regulation and will be fined to 500,000 Rwandan francs. The agency also asked Ramagana District Administration to follow up and stop activities that are damaging the lake. Niwemuhutu Alphonse says he works for another investor to follow up agricultural activities in the area, but confirms that the district administration is aware of the activities, adding that there is an existing agreement with the district. The country established a directive to leave 50 meters distance between the lake and farms, but licensed investors were allowed to protect the area. We have engineers who guide us in all activities carried out near the lake. They allowed us to cultivate beans, soya, cabbage, green pepper, and tomatoes. They say I rent the area as well, which is not true. Rwamagana District Mayor Mbonyu Muvunyi Rajab said the investor had not been given the right to regulate and protect the lake and that his activities has been suspended. Even the district administration has no right to license someone to cultivate in those 50 meters from the lake. Only REMA does that. So the investor lied to you. As you saw, the area is hidden, thus someone can do their activities in the dark. We spoke with REMA so that we can collectively follow it up and stop it. Water Bodies Protection Regulations stipulate that landowners must leave 50 meters from the lake and plant trees to resist soil erosion and prevent soil from getting into water.
There you have it. Now, high school students and teachers in Rusizi district say that the Rwandan culture, especially the mother language, is being mixed with slangs and other foreign languages, and that has been mainly influenced by the use of social media. On the other hand, they say they are determined to change this before it's too late. Jen Motoni reports.
These are high school students. Despite being born and raised in Rwanda, they admit to not being fluent speakers of Kinyarwanda and acknowledge mixing it with other languages.
We have many challenges when it comes to our culture, especially as the youth. Our mother tongue has changed over the years. I don't know how I can explain this. It is being mixed with foreign languages, and it's not okay.
Teachers also point out that this is a major issue affecting the Rwandan culture and that they are doing their best to address it, although there is need for more educational support.
This issue is being seen whether in writing and in speaking Kinyarwanda. So we are making effort in changing that, because we find that when a child is speaking Kinyarwanda, they mix in French or English, and even in writing, alphabets are used wrongly. So we as teachers have to teach them, because Kinyarwanda is a language on its own which shouldn't be mixed with other languages, regardless of other languages that they learn.
Jean-Darc Baranyizigiye, in charge of developing social studies and history programs at the Rwanda Education Board, says that in terms of preserving the Rwandan culture, young people should be vigilant not to be influenced by foreign sources, and that regarding the issue of Kinyarwanda language, foreign languages should be learnt and treated as foreign languages without forgetting their own mother tongue. As they study other subjects in other languages, it helps in learning more and being able to communicate with foreign people and be able to make trades with them, all for the benefit of our country. It's not right to be influenced by foreign cultures so much so that we forget our own. We can adopt positive elements of other cultures and reject those that don't align with our culture. The mayor of Rusizi district, Dr. Chibiriga Anisette, says the district is going to intensify its efforts to educate the youth on the Rwandan culture, mainly the Kinyarwanda language.
Ni nabyo twatanze mu butumwa dukangurira cyane cyane mu mashuri kugira ngo bashyireho gahunda.
As I mentioned, in different schools, we urge them to create sustainable programs, including cultural competitions, and as the district, we've promised to work hand in hand with schools to teach students and sustain this program.
During the Culture Awareness Month, which ended on Wednesday, the youth, especially those in primary and secondary schools in Rusizi district, were taught the values and taboos, where they also competed in dance, song, poetry and cow names. Jane Mutoni, RTV News.
Now, African countries say that they need to have a united front in the international arena to combat the effects of climate change. Delegates from 12 African countries are in Kigali for a 5-day meeting to study the issues set to be addressed in Cairo, Egypt during the UN Climate Conference at the end of this year. Innocent Mugabo has more.
Members of the Pan-African Climate Justice Alliance stress that their projects are common to all countries. It is in this context that another 3-year-old African-funded project called God Africa was launched this Wednesday to protect Africa from the effects of climate change. Faustin Vuningoma, the coordinator of Rwanda Climate Change and Development Network, explains more about the project. One reason for this fund is to help citizens and the press understand this project so that they can spread the message, not forgetting leaders of various institutions. We shall also consider policymakers at various levels. The most important part is that people should understand that this is meant to benefit them more. Mithika Mwenda, the executive director for the Pan-African Climate Justice Alliance, stresses that they chose to hold the conference in Rwanda because they found it to be a country that specializes in facilitating its participants.
We are going to really agree on the most fundamental actions we need to take moving forward as Africa, but also as individual countries in advancing our goals and the implementation of the goals of the Paris Agreement, Agenda 2030 and Agenda 2063. And most importantly, our preparedness in the countdown to the climate conference coming up in later in the year in Sharm el-Sheikh.
Ayele Kabede Gabrius, the Swedish government representative at the conference, stresses that the God Africa project will be primarily responsible for capacity building for the African group and will work with industrialized countries to address their concerns, including funding for climate change.
The project has one component dealing with this issue that is mainly focusing on building the capacity of African group of negotiators to be in a position to challenge the negotiation landscape and at the same time look into the possibilities to benefit out of that process.
Participants of the conference believe that Africa is experiencing significant impacts of climate change and has not played a major role in it, as it is due to industrial emissions from developed countries.
That's it, folks, from me and the entire news production team. Many thanks for your company tonight. Until next time, stay safe. I'm Ethan Tashabia. Bye for now.